Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you all for tuning in. Tonight I want to talk a little Stone Temple Pilots with everybody. I want to give you my favorite or my least favorite to favorite Stone Temple Pilots albums. Again, this is just ranked based upon my enjoyment of them. Personally, I love the Stone Temple Pilots. They're one of my favorite groups from the 90s. Though they're not always considered grunge, I always kind of lumped them into that category, and they would be one of my favorite bands to come out from that scene. Of course, they weren't from Seattle, but I still love them nonetheless. So, without further ado, let's jump into my ranking of the Stone Temple Pilots albums, starting with my least favorite. Coming in the number 8 spot, I have Perdita, released in 2000, or not 2000s, wow, 2020. This is their most recent album, second with Jeff Gutt on lead vocals, and I don't want to throw any shade at Jeff Gutt, but this album never appealed to me. I have nothing against like acoustic-based songs or acoustic music. I've tried to listen to this one a number of times, and I've lost interest every single time. I'll keep trying because I love Stone Temple Pilots. I want to get into this album. I just haven't done so yet, and not for a lack of effort, but this one has just not grabbed me in any way, so I gotta throw it at the bottom of my list, number 8, Perdita. In the number 7 spot, let's go with the 2018 self-titled album, Stone Temple Pilots, the first with Jeff Gutt on lead vocal, the first since the passing of original frontman Scott Weiland. Now, I don't think this is a bad album, and again, I don't want to throw any shade at Jeff Gutt. I think he does a fine job filling in. I think he sounds like Scott to an extent. I don't think he has quite the same personality in the music that Scott did, but this is still a pretty decent album. Middle of Nowhere is a really good song. Meadow's really good. I like Thought She'd Be Mine. I like Roll Me Under, Never Enough, The Art of Letting Go, Finest Hour. So you've got some good songs on here. I just don't think it quite measures up to the classic albums, but still a pretty good album in its own right. The number 7 spot for me is going to be the 2018 self-titled album, Stone Temple Pilots.
Can we really find the love and magic place we dream of? A super magic robot set the soul.
In the number 6 spot, I have the 2010 self-titled album, Stone Temple Pilots. The final album with Scott Weiland, and their first in 9 years. I like this one a lot. I don't like this one as consistently all the way through as some of the classics, but I think you've got a lot of good songs on here. Between the Lines is really good. Take a Load Off is great. Huckleberry Crumble, Hickory Dichotomy, Cinnamon is a nice catchy pop song. Hazy Days is really cool. My favorite song on the album, First Kiss on Mars, is a really, really cool song as well, Maver. So you definitely got some really good highlight material here. A couple songs maybe I'm not as crazy about, but all in all, still a really good, really solid album from the Stone Temple Pilots. Just not quite as rock solid to me as those first 5, but coming in the number 6 spot, I have the 2010 self-titled album from Stone Temple Pilots. In the number 5 spot, I have Core, released in 1992, the band's very first studio album. This is the album that was kind of accused of being a Pearl Jam ripoff. I don't know that I totally agree with that, but this is definitely the grungiest sounding of the Stone Temple Pilots albums, as they really did feel like they were definitely a part of that scene here on this debut album. And there's definitely some great songs on here, like Dead and Bloated, Sex Type Thing, Wicked Garden, Naked Sunday, Creep, Plush, Cracker Man. So aside from Wet My Bed, which feels very pointless to me, the rest of this album is pretty awesome. I just happen to like the other 4 a little bit better, so coming in the number 5 spot, I have Core from 1992.
Days of the week, this I'm the enemy.
In the number 4 spot for me, Shangri-La-Di-Da, the band's 5th album, released in 2001. Shangri-La-Di-Da is an album that did take me a little bit to really get into it, though there's been some songs on here that I've always loved, like Days of the Week, Dumb Love, Coma, Hollywood Bitch. Wonderful. This album did grow on me over time with some of the songs on the back end of the album, like Regeneration, Bipolar Bear, Transmissions from a Lonely Room, Song for Sleeping, have all really grown on me and become some of my favorites. So I think you have a really cool album here. Feels very experimental for Stone Temple Pilots, and is one I've grown to really appreciate. So coming in the number 4 spot, I have Shangri-La-Di-Da from 2001. Alright, my top 3 are separated only by a razor-thin margin. Coming in the number 3 spot, I'm going to go with the band's 2nd album, Purple. I think this is the one where Stone Temple Pilots really solidified their own unique sound. This is where they really came into their own, in my opinion. Some killer cuts on here like Meat Plow, Vaseline, Interstate Love Song, which is not only my favorite Stone Temple Pilot song, it's one of my favorite songs ever. Still Remains is also an incredible track. Big Empty, Unglued, Army Ants is a lot of fun, Kitchenware and Candy Bars. And then at the end of the album, kind of little hidden track, you've got the 12 Gracious Melodies thing, which is kind of cool as well. But all the way through, this is a pretty cool album. Awesome album from Stone Temple Pilots. It's, again, these top 3 for me are separated by such a thin margin, but number 3 for me is Purple. Number 2, I have Tiny Music, Songs from the Vatican Gift Shop, released in 1996, the band's 3rd studio album, and sees the band take a little bit more of a psychedelic approach on this. Stone Temple Pilots continue to try new things as they progress through the 90s. I think this album has a number of their best songs. Lady Picture Show, I think, is phenomenal. Ride the Cliches, one of my favorite deep cuts. Big Bang Baby's awesome. Pops Love Suicide, Tumble in the Rough. 7 Cage Tigers. So tons of great material on here. Again, I think they a little more psychedelic, a little more laid back maybe than the first 2, but a really great album nonetheless. Coming in the number 2 spot for me, Tiny Music, Songs from the Vatican Gift Shop. And in the number 1 spot for me, I'm going to go with their 1999 album, Number 4, the band's 4th studio album. And again, separated by a razor-thin margin, these top 3, but I gotta give the win to Number 4. I just love this album pretty much all the way through. Stone Temple Pilots return to a more straightforward rock sound on this. Some down-tuned guitars. You got some really heavy cuts like Down, Heaven, and Hot Rods, which is awesome. I love the riff in that song. Pruno is awesome. Sour Girl, of course, is great. No Way Out. Glide, I think, is a great deep cut, as is I Got You. I think the album closer, Atlanta, is a nice ballad as well. And even what I would consider the filler tracks on here, like Church on Tuesday, MC5, and Sex and Violence, I still think are good songs, and they kind of keep the album flowing along quite nicely. I just find this to be a really fun listen from start to finish, and it's my favorite from the Stone Temple Pilots. So in the comments below, let me know how you would rank the catalog from Stone Temple Pilots. If you like this kind of content, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for more videos like this in the future, and I'll catch you next time.